digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello, dear participants. Thank you so much for joining today's session. We'll be starting a session now. Please allow me a minute so I can quickly share my screen and we can start with today's session. I hope my screen is visible to you all, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to our series GSTC Certified Learning and Development 2026, Shaping Workforce Agility and Strategic Growth, where learning meets strategy to power high-performance organization. My name is Preetham. I'll be here as a moderator. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any question or concerns. You can use the chat box for the same, and I'm very happy to assist you all. So what excites this series more, as you can see, we do have these incredible industry experts lined up for this week, 13th to 17th April. So please do join us for all the remaining sessions as well. You can use the same registration link, and this is happening on the same time slot that you have joined right now. So do not miss our sessions. Do join. And before I could hand over the session to our speaker, would love to quickly introduce our hosting organization, GSDC. We're known as Global Skill Development Council. We're vendor agnostic, vendor neutral. We're globally recognized certification body, and we are accredited by ABICB. We do have 100 plus certification portfolio with us, and we have certified more than 250,000 professionals worldwide so far. Also, we have 500 plus subject matter experts, industry experts. They work with us closely to help us with our exams, programs, and all the deliverables. Also, we are associated with 1,000 plus multinational corporates, 500 Fortune companies, and 50 plus universities across the world. And a very proud thing to share with you all that we do have 100 plus authorized training partner across the countries. We have partners in Asia, Africa, Canada, America, and many other countries. So a big thanks to all our training partners for supporting us and those who have joined us through our training partner channel. In case if you're looking for any training program for yourself, feel free to reach out to our training partners to have an inquiry about it. I will be sharing all the contact details of our training partners shortly in the chat box. A special thanks to our official media partner, World Press Hub. They cover all our events and press releases. A quick introduction to the GSTC AI Studio, amazing platform where We are providing 100 plus live sessions on AI, which is led by global experts, where you'll be getting 4 daily sessions, which is a 45 minutes of live and impactful sessions, along with the hands-on learning, where you can apply all the concepts immediately that you have learned. Also, in case if you get any question or doubts, that will be resolved instantly with the help of our subject matter experts and our global leaders on real-time basis. So this training is aligned with the industry standards for the job ready skills. So this is the amazing opportunity to learn from the AI leaders around the world. In case if you're looking for further information of GSTC AI Studio, feel free to reach out to our learning advisors. You will find all the contact details shortly in the chat box. A quick introduction to our certification portfolio that I mentioned earlier, that we do have 100 plus certifications with us, portfolio with us. So that includes certification on learning and development, HR, generative AI, agentic AI, emerging technologies, ISO lead, auditor, implementer, project management, PMO, agile DevOps, SRE, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and so on. So in case if you're looking for any of this certification in order to upskill yourself, feel free to reach out to our learning advisors, or feel free to visit our website to get more information, to check all the listed certification programs that we have and other offerings that GSTC has for all our professionals. What all benefits you will be getting if you opt out a certification from GSTC? You will be getting lifelong membership with GSTC with that certificate upgrades, free access to all our events, workshop, boot camps, and guess what? Free access to all our exclusive learning program. Along with that, you'll be getting implementation resources, speaker invites, and newsletter. A lot of benefits, right? So if you want to understand more about these benefits and want to explore all the certification programs that we have, please get in touch with our learning advisors. You'll find the details in the chat box. And we would love to thank you to all our participants who have shared their experiences with GSTC and our sessions. So we are really grateful for that you are finding these sessions are very valuable. So feel free to share your experiences as well with us. So it shows that GSTC isn't just a certifications anymore. It's a transformation backed by real voices, isn't it? So feel free to share your experiences as well. We would love to see them. And this is regarding the partnership. I'm wondering if you're looking for any partnership program with GSTC, feel free to reach out to our relevant spot that is mentioned in this slide. You can take a screenshot of it. Also, I'll be sharing the details in the chat box for your reference. So feel free to reach out to the relevant spot that is mentioned, whether it's individual certification or authorized training partnership, academic partnership, or enterprise level partnership. So without any further delay, I'm truly honored to welcome our today's speaker, Treasure Kalu. So we already had him for previous 3 sessions, and it's amazing to have him always to share his insights. So those who have joined us for his first session, a quick introduction to the Treasure. He's a popularly known as Inspiring TK, is a sales growth expert, leadership coach, and inspirational speaker. He helps entrepreneurs and organizations increase revenue, improve sales performance, and achieve marketplace dominance. With a background in engineering, he transitioned into consulting, training, and motivational speaking, impacting thousands of professionals. Tiki is also known for his thought leadership in personal development, leadership, and faith-based inspirational through coaching, speaking engagements, and digital transformations. So let's explore today's topic, which is building high performance organizations through structured competency development. Thank you so much, Raja, for joining us. It's delighted to have you again today. Thank you very much. You can have the hander of the mic now.
Please confirm that you can hear me. Hello, everybody. It's good to be back again. And this is going to be my last session, at least for now, with this amazing platform. If you attended any of my previous session, I want you to type 111 in the comments. Of course, by now you should be used to my style of teaching. Yes, let me see those who've attended at least one of the previous 2 sessions that I've had with you. Type 111 in the comments. Benga, yes. from Nigeria, or a Nigerian, not necessarily from Nigeria. Oh, only Benga. Okay, great. All right, I see Barbara. Who else? If you attended any of my previous sessions, please indicate in the comments. All right, let me also know where you are joining from today. What country, what city are you joining in from? Please type in the comments. I'm reading. What country? Ashwani is joining us from India. Yes. Who else? Your country. We have Barbara from Kampala in Uganda. Barbara, you're welcome. Yes. Who else? Feel free. We have Lagos, Nigeria. Samuel, you're welcome. Benga is from Landmark University. You're welcome. Yes. I want to see the countries that are represented here. In previous sessions, we had people from Canada, from the US, from Pakistan, Afghanistan also. So let's see. Feel free, use the comments. All right, let's keep them coming. Okay, so I will quickly go into my session to I'm going to be asking you to type something in the comments. Just give me a sec. Yes. All right, permit me to quickly share my slide. If you can see my slides, type 222 in the comments. If you can see my slides very clearly, I want to be sure that everybody can see my slides. Type 222 in the comments. I need to be sure. Okay, good. I can see responses now. I also want you to tell me, if you've not told me where you are joining from, type your location. If you're joining from Lagos, say Lagos. If you're joining from Ghana, say Ghana. Uganda. Okay, we have another Uganda. So let's keep it coming. All right, so today I will be looking at building high-performance organizations through structured competence development. I'm told that the typical audience that attends these training interventions are either mid-level managers or senior managers in different organizations. So, all right, so let's look at building high performance organizations through structured competence development. My name very simply is Treasure Carlo, like I've rightly been introduced. I'm a sales growth expert with at least 15 years of experience. And what I do simply is to help vision-driven and revenue-driven organizations increase their sales revenue. I run a consulting company called Tumuku Consulting. We are a learning and development company based in Nigeria, even though our clientele spans several countries of the world, both within and outside of Africa. As you can see on the screen, these are the logos of some of the companies that I have provided learning and development services to in the last couple of years. You can see Globus Bank, you can see Union Bank. These are banks in Nigeria. You can see Credit Direct. You can see the USAID at some point. I did some jobs for them. You can see Access Bank and several of them on the screen. I'm also a keynote speaker. Somebody is already asking me to go back. I'm just introducing myself. Do you want to take screenshots or what? Okay. I'm also a conference speaker, a keynote speaker. So I literally spend most of my year traveling to different locations, both in and out of Africa, to speak at conferences. The picture you see on the screen was a conference that I was invited to speak in the nation of Ghana, Accra in Ghana, to be precise, before an audience of about 3,000. All right, so that is me in a nutshell. So let's get right into what we have for today. Permit me. All right, so we're back to our topic, building high-performance organizations through structured competence development. These are going to be our areas of coverage today. First and foremost, we're going to be looking at what exactly are high-performance organizations. Secondly, we'll look at 3 persistent organizational problems. We will also look at what structured competence development is all about. Furthermore, we will consider 4 pillars of competence development. We will progress to look at the power of the weak link. You will understand what a weak link is in an organization. Then we will look at a global case study, just like I did in my last session using Microsoft. So let's get right into it. Organizations don't rise because of strategy alone. A lot of organizations talk about strategy. In fact, when you attend major management conferences, everybody is keen on knowing what's the next big industry strategy. But the truth is, beyond strategy, organizations rise because of the capacity of the people who work in the organization. And not just having capacity, but being able to deliver capacity consistently. I want you to understand that capacity is not an accident. Capacity is built. That's why we have the phrase capacity development. Just like if you ever use the gym, if you want to lose weight or you want to gain body mass or you want to develop your muscles, of course, you know it's going to take a journey. Speaking from personal experience, when you start using the gym and they give you, say, a dumbbell of 5 kg, you may struggle at first to lift it. You may struggle at first to even lift it to do, say, 10 reps. But as you continue, your muscles are going to feel it. You're going to feel those aches, those pains. But as you continue, a time would come where 5 kg will mean nothing to you. That is because you are now developing capacity. So capacity is not accidental, it is built. If you see any organization that is thriving, that has a lot of capacity, is because they intentionally built that capacity. So now let's transition into defining what exactly a high performance organization is. What is a high performance organization? Feel free to use the comments. Not sure what there's a difference between capacity and capability. All right, so what is a high performance organization? A high performance organization, listen very carefully, is one where the people know what to do. I like to give very simple definitions. They know what to do, that is number one. They know how to do it. So they don't leave delivery. They don't leave execution to guesswork. They know exactly how to do it. Thirdly, they do it consistently, not just once in a while. Just like when I teach branding, I tell people that a brand is a person, a product, or an organization that delivers a predictable experience consistently. So consistency is very key in high performance organizations. They know what to do. They know what the mission, the vision, the core values, the targets of the organization is about. They know the what of the organization, and not just the what, they know how to do it. And then they know how to deliver on these consistently. Now let's look at 3 persistent problems that boarding organizations face. There are 3 problems that boarding organizations face. The first one is, and this goes to the HR, they hire based on CVs, based on resumes, not on verifiable competence. Now, in this age and time where anybody can put up a fantastic CV, anybody can go on one of the generative AI platforms like ChatGPT and generate a very fantastic resume. Everybody can literally have a nice looking resume in today's marketplace. It will create an organizational gap if people in the HR do not know how to look beyond fantastic CVs to verifying competence. So there are organizations that have fallen for nice CVs. And by the time the person is finally hired, the person cannot deliver on the job. So that is number one. Number two, organizations, they engage in training interventions without clear outcomes. There are some organizations that just engage in training and development interventions just because there is a training budget, just because they have to do a training, but there are no clear-cut outcomes. This is very, very key. Thirdly, organizations promote people based on tenure, that is based on the times that they have spent in the organization. So some organizations will just want to promote certain people because, oh, they've spent, say, 10 years in the organization, 20 years, 25 years. But when you promote based on time frame instead of capacity, you run into problems. So these are three persistent problems that research has shown that boarding organizations face in terms of human capacity: hiring based on just CVs, training without clear outcomes, and promotions just based on tenure, not verifiable capacity. So let's look at what exactly is structured competency development. Before I proceed, I want to find out if you are following thus far, if it's making sense thus far. I want you to type 222 in the comments. 222 in the comments. I need to be sure that we are all here. If where you are permits you to put on your camera, please put on your camera so that I can put a face. I can put a face to the names that I'm saying. 222 in the comments. Thank you, Apollo. Thank you, Benga. Yes, 222 in the comments. I need some energy in the room. I need participation. 222 in the comment. Thank you, Samuel. 222. Yes, thank you, Ashwani. If you're following thus far, let me see 222 in the comments. Awesome. All right. So what exactly is structured competence development? Thank you, Aminat. What exactly is structured competence development? It is a systematic approach to identifying, building, measuring, and improving the skills, behaviors, and knowledge required for performance. I take that again. So structured competency development is a systematic approach to first identifying, building, measuring, and improving the skills, behaviors, and knowledge required for performance. There are 4 pillars of structured competency development, 4 pillars, and I'm going to quickly share those 4 pillars. Just follow me very carefully. The first pillar is competency identification. Under competency identification, you ask yourself, what skills are required for each role? It can create a lot of problems in the organization if we put square pegs in round holes. We have to put square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes. So it will create a lot of friction in the organization if the skills that individuals are bringing to the organization don't match the roles that you are giving to them. So it starts from identification of the skills that are needed for each role. Apart from the skills, what behaviors defines top performance? What are the behaviors that define top performance? For example, a sales manager needs to have negotiation skills, pipeline management skills, coaching ability skills. So if you're hiring a sales manager and you have not taken time to itemize and identify that these are the skills that will be needed for the role, and you get someone just based on CV, based on profile, you may run into problems. So it starts from competency identification. The second pillar is competency assessment. Here you ask yourself questions like, where are your people now in terms of competence, in terms of the capacity to deliver? Where exactly are your people, your workforce members across different departments of the organization? Where exactly are they? Then you identify the gaps that exist. What are the gaps that exist? Industries are evolving. The marketplace is evolving. There are so much disruptions that are happening across industries today. There are certain jobs that are going into extinctions. So what are the gaps that you have identified that will keep members of your workforce relevant both to your organization and to the industry at large? And some of the tools that you can use for such assessment is to have performance data. You should have your own specific way of tracking performance data. How is everybody in the organization delivering on the mandate of the organization? How is everybody delivering on the set targets, the set goals? From time to time, you should have 360 feedback. And what is 360 feedback? Is simply having a holistic feedback where everybody in the organization can assess themselves, both vertically and horizontally. Also, you have skills assessment. Artificial intelligence is disrupting several job roles right now, several industries. And what smart organizations are trying to do, are currently doing, is to get members of their workforce to become AI savvy, AI compliant. Because the truth is, whilst AI would take over certain job roles, but the good news also is it would be difficult for AI to take over the job role of somebody who knows how to use AI to deliver on that job better and faster. So you need to assess members of your workforce, and including yourself, to see where exactly you are. The third pillar that we will look at, third pillar of structured competency development, is competency development itself. So development itself. This is where most organizations fail, because development is actually beyond training, is beyond having a workshop, is beyond attending a conference. They are part of it, but different problems call for different training approaches. There are some competence gaps. There are some competence gaps that will require strategy sessions. There are some competence gaps that will require coaching. My last session was about organizational coaching, and we talked a lot about it. Some will require on-the-job learning. On-the-job learning. Some will require simulations, and others will require mentorship. I remember in my last session, I talked about the difference between a manager, a leader, a coach, and a trainer. They are different. So when you identify the gaps, you identify the competence gap, you've done your assessment correctly, and you move to development, you must also ensure that the development programs that you are adopting, that you are adapting to, they are targeted. Aswani is asking, who identifies these competencies and what are the standards used? The leader, of course, the manager, depending on the structure of that organization. It could be the leader, the manager, the supervisor, anyone that has a team working under him. It is his duty to identify these competence. And the standards that are to be used are the standards that are aligned to that organization, the organizational standard, the industry standard. There are not one size that fits all standard for different organizations. So every organization has where they are headed to. Thank you, Patrick, for joining from Malawi. It's good to have you. So every organization, this is just a quick answer to the question asked in the chat by Ashwani. All right. So is the leader that identifies those competencies. All right, let's move on and look at the fourth pillar of structured competency development. The fourth pillar is competency measurement. What you don't measure, you cannot improve. So if you have taken time to deploy a development intervention, maybe a training, a coaching, a simulation, a mentorship, you want to measure progress. You want to measure performance, because if you don't measure, what you are doing is you are assuming, you are guessing. And whatever you'll be doing at that time will not be data-driven. So ask yourself, are your people improving? Are their performances improving? Where exactly are they after that training intervention, after that development initiative that was deployed in the organization or in the department? So these are the four pillars of structured competency development. Before I move on, I want to be sure that we are still in the house. Those of you that are just joining, welcome. Thank you for joining. You can also let us know where you are joining from. But if you are following Tosfa, I want you to type 111 in the comments. Before I proceed, type 111 in the comments. 111 in the comments. Thank you, Ashwani. Yes. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Patrick, who has just joined us from Malawi. Thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia, where are you joining us from? All right, thank you, Edson. Good. It's good to know that we are following. So let's move on. Now I want to teach something that is very, very critical in today's discussion. I want to talk about the power of the weak link. The power of the weak link. It is popularly said in management that a team, or first, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if you have a chain, let's say this is a chain that I am holding. This is a chain in my hand, though it's not a chain, this is a wristband, but let's assume that this is a chain. If you observe every chain, look at every chain critically, you would find what we call the weak link. It is a very small opening from where the chain can be fragmented. If you apply pressure, maybe heat, or use something forceful, you apply a force on that spot that we call the weak link, the chain is going to fragment. This also applies to organizations. So a team in an organization is only as strong as its weakest link. In organizations, one link can quietly destroy the performance, the culture, and the results of the organization. That's why we must pay very close attention to this. So let's look at this in details. Who exactly is a weak link? Cynthia is joining from Kenya. We have a lot of Africans today. All right, welcome, Cynthia. It's an absolute pleasure also meeting you today. So, who is a weak link in an organization? A weak link is not just a low performance. Generally speaking, we say, oh, a weak link is a low performer, is somebody who is not meeting targets, is a late comer, is somebody who doesn't imbibe the culture of the organization. Whilst that is correct to a great extent, it goes beyond that, because listen, you could be a high performer, but you're also a weak link. So a weak link could be a high performer with a poor attitude. So when it comes to meeting targets, sales targets, organizational targets, you are a high performer, but you have a very bad attitude. You don't relate well with members of your team. You get angry easily. You are easily pissed off. You probably don't dress properly. You are also a weak link, regardless of the fact that when it comes to delivery, you are a high performer. A weak link could also be a manager who avoids accountability. We are mostly mid-level managers and senior managers here, so let's also talk to ourselves. If you are a manager who avoids accountability, just as you want members of your team to be accountable to you, you also have to be accountable to your team. So a manager who avoids accountability is a weak link. A team member who is slow at execution. is a weak link. This is the one that most of us we generally want to say first. All right, so look at it. Anybody that fits into this description, anybody that fits into what I have just said is also a weak link in the team. You could be a high performer, but if your attitude is poor, you are a weak link. The great author, John C. Maxwell, global leadership expert, says that attitude is everything. So you can be so good, but you have a nasty attitude. You are a weak link. So let's move on. A leader who refuses to grow is also a weak link. So where are you in your leadership journey? If you have not made any significant progress in your leadership journey within the last 1 to 3 years, you have invariably become a weak link in the organization. And the reason we need to critically look at this is everything rises and falls on leadership. An organization cannot grow beyond the capacity of the leader. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And we usually say that an army of sheep led by a lion will defeat an army of lions led by a sheep, because leadership is where it all comes together. So if you're a leader who is not growing in different aspects of your life, you are also a weak link. Now let's look at why weak links are dangerous in organizations and why we need to pay close attention. When you have an organization that is surrounded by a lot of weak links, the first impact on the organization will be reduced overall performance.
Dear participants, it seems like our speaker lost a network connection, maybe. So please stay connected. I'll be checking with him shortly. Thank you. Hi, Treasure. You can unmute yourself now. You can uh, see if you're able to. Hi, Treasure. I have given you access. Can you check if you're able to speak?
My other device, please pardon me. This is Treasure Card on this other device. I'm joining back on my other device in a minute.
Sure, no problem. Sure, no problem. Take your time, no problem. So, dear participants, please drop your questions meanwhile in the chat box so we can take it shortly. I'm sorry about the echo. Dear participants, please drop your question meanwhile so we can take all the questions shortly after the session. Thank you.
Okay.
Treasure, I have already made you co-host, so you should be having access to unmute yourself. Okay, can you try now?
All right. Please confirm that you can hear me. Kindly take note of this particular device. This is my host device. I'm just using the other one for feedback. Okay, so please, I can see my video has been disabled on this particular device I'm speaking now. So please, you can get it up running again. Sorry for that interruption. If you can hear me, please confirm in the chat, type 222 in the chat. All right, you can hear me, but Pratim, my video is disabled on this device. Please, maybe I should rename one of the devices so that you can you can distinguish between the two. Team, please make Treasure Kalu co-host, not TK. If you can quickly do that, I'll be glad. Or let me
Yes.
see, can I do
Yes.
that from my end?
I've done that. Can you check?
Okay, great. All right. All right, so welcome back. Apologies for that little interruption. So we were looking at who is a weak link, and we've looked at the different considerations that we see to say that one is a weak link. So why are weak links dangerous? Why should we care that we have weak links in an organization? Number one, weak links reduce the overall performance of the team. So I was talking about the football team. A typical football team has 4 departments. We have the goalkeeping department, we have the defense line, we have the midfield, and then we have the attack. Now imagine that the goalkeeping department is very weak, whilst every other department is working. In fact, when the goalkeeper is weak, it will bring a lot of frustration to the entire team. Because whilst every other department is working, taking the ball to the side of the opponent, every time the ball comes to the goalkeeper, he gives way and the opposing team gets a goal. Now, let's assume that is the defense that is weak. What happens? It puts a strain on the goalkeeper. What about if the midfield is weak? The attack will lack passes. The attack will not find freedom of expression, will not have adequate passes of the ball that will help them take the ball to the opponent's side. So that's how it works generally in organization. One weak salesperson, for example, can cause the entire organization to miss targets. It can affect the morale of the team. It can reduce the total revenue. The implication is the team carries the entire weight, tries to fill the gap created by the weak link. So that is number one. Number two is it leads to a spread of negative culture. When we have weak teams in the organization, what we'll start seeing are excuses. Excuses will become the norm. Excuses will become rampant in the organization. Okay, the admin can attend to that question in the chat. I think that's for the admin. Excuses will become normal. The standards will drop. Mediocrity will become acceptable. And invariably, you should understand that what you tolerate becomes the standard. All right? So that is the second danger of having weak links in the organization. The third danger is it drains leadership energy. When you have a weak link and you try to bring that weak link up to speed, it will lead to constant follow-ups. So you are constantly, in fact, you are forced into micromanaging the person. A weak link creates gaps that the leader has to fill. It leads to repeated corrections. I don't know if you have ever worked with a team member that you had to correct every single time. You know how frustrating that could be. So that is number two. Then it leads to emotional frustration. It can lead to emotional frustration. So one weak link can consume 80% of a leader's time. That is a lot of time loss. Is a lot of loss of executive time. So as I'm talking, I want you to begin to reflect, begin to think first, starting with yourself. Am I a weak link in my organization? Or am I working with people who are weak links? You should begin to think, who are the weak links in my organization? Who are the weak links in my department? Identify them, and as I progress, I will tell you exactly what to do with a weak link. Firing is not the first point of call. So I'm going to show you in a bit things that you put into perspective before you should ever consider the option of firing. The last danger that I want to highlight of a weak link is it blocks the growth of the organization. Promotion becomes risky. The team cannot scale. Execution slows down. So we really need to pay critical attention to weak links. The weak links can, especially if it's a big organization, the weak links can just hide themselves amongst the strong links that sometimes it can be difficult to notice them, because the strong links will be working extra hard and filling up the gaps created by the weak links, whilst the weak links are just there, being on the payroll of the organization. So how do you handle weak links when you have identified them based on some of these things we have mentioned? Excuses, lateness, always falling behind target. How do you handle weak links? Number one, develop your weak links when there is potential. So somebody could be a weak link, but it doesn't mean that the person is totally bad. You just have maybe a skill gap or a competence gap. Remember, we're talking about competency development. All right. So if the issue is skill, what you need to do is to provide targeted training in that area of weakness. Provide targeted training. You can also use coaching. Recall I talked about the GROW model of coaching in my last session. You can deploy the GROW model. If you were not here in my last session, maybe you want to check the YouTube channel of GSDC for the replay. I believe the replay is still there. You will see a lot of the things that I shared on the GROW model. Thirdly, you set clear improvement goals. So this person, for example, you have identified that he's a weak link, he has a skill gap, and maybe the skill gap, say as a sales executive, is he's weak at handling objections, or he's weak at closing or product presentation. Those are skill gaps. You provide targeted training, and then you set clear improvement goals. You work with the person and you set a clear time frame where you can come back and check up on the person to see how far they have gone. If it's making sense so far, I want you to type 222 in the comments. How to handle weak links. So that is number one. Develop when there is potential. That is the first point of call, develop. 222 in the comments. Vigilant. Oh, what a name. Vigilant, where are you joining from? Thank you, Vigilant. Thank you, Apollo. Thank you, Samuel. Nature. Thank you for following. All right. So, okay, this is just a quick overview of the GROW model. I talked about it in my in my last session. I'm not going to explain it today. So maybe you just want to take note of it or you watch the replay. All right. So the second thing that you do with a weak link is to redirect. You can move a weak link to another department, or you give a weak link another role. And that is if you have identified that the issue with the weak link is a role fit issue. I think it was Albert Einstein that said that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you will leave it feeling stupid for the rest of its life. So sometimes weak links are just high performers who have been placed in a role that does not match their competence. So sometimes that could just be the problem, not the person, but the role. So you want to possibly look at moving the person to a better fit position is one of the considerations that you can look at. Or align strength with responsibilities. In my last session, this is very connected to my last session, especially on coaching, where you run a SWOT analysis on the competence level of each of your team members. There are tools, there are assessment tools that you can find online that can literally help you ascertain the competence level of both of yourself and your team. All right, so identify the strengths of these people and put them in such roles. Let's take sales and marketing as a typical example, because that is my primary niche, sales and marketing. Somebody can be very good at product presentation, but weak at closing. So instead of allowing such a person to handle both product presentation and closing, why not just allowing function in their natural habitats? So he does product presentation, while somebody that is strong at closing comes and closes the deal. So these are things that we can begin to consider as we look at the weak links in our organization. Thirdly, discipline. If you've tried the first two and you're not seeing any result, then consider discipline. And this is when it is a behavioral issue. If it's an attitudinal problem, then you need to apply discipline. You need to send out memos. You need to send out queries. You need to set clear expectations, document performance, and enforce consequences. This is where you apply the force of discipline, especially if you've observed that is an attitude. It's not a skill gap. It's not a role misfit. It's an attitudinal problem. Discipline has to come in place. And if discipline does not bring forth any change, then you remove the person. Remove the person if after coaching the person, after giving every form of support, after setting clear expectations, and nothing changes after a period of time, never hesitate to fire. In fact, one of the rules of hiring is never hire someone that you cannot fire. So having done all that you can to help that weak link and there are no changes, please save your organization the headache, fire the person. All right? Why this is very imperative is keeping one weak link in your organization can cost you your best performance. when your best performers keep working with weaklings, their morale drops. They become fagged out, and depending on the absorbing capacity of that performer, the performer can decide to give way and move on. All right. So let me, and this is the final part of my presentation, let me quickly show you a diagnostic tool that you can use to manage all that I have shared in terms of weak link. You need to evaluate each member of your team on two broad levels, and they are skill and attitude. Skill and will. For will, we can say attitude. What is their skill level? Are their skill levels high or low? Are their, what about their attitude? Is it high or low? Let me bring it home. So this is the interpretation. If you have someone in your team that has a high skill level and high will, that is high attitude, congratulations, you have a high performer. That person is a high performer in your team. Please reward that person. Appreciate that person. Do everything within your ability to keep that person in your team, because that is a star player in your team. What about if the person has low skill but high will? So there are competence gaps, but the person has good attitude, teachable, adaptable, willing to learn, willing to be stretched. What you do for such a person is you train the person. Competence level might be low, but attitude high, train the person, and the person will come up to par. What about if the skill level is high, but the attitude is low? High skill, low will. You discipline the person. Subject the person to discipline. But if the person's attitude is low and the skill is low, that is low skill plus low attitude or low will, don't hesitate to fire. That person is a total misfit. Let the person go. If I do the person a favor, when you fire people, having done all that you can, and there are no changes, truthfully speaking, you are helping the person to go back to rediscover themselves. All right? So I end with a case study. And the case study is the study of Unilever. Unilever is a global consumer goods company. It is possible that everybody listening to me today has used a Unilever product today. If you have used the toothpaste today, if you have used the body cream, if you have sprayed a perfume, it is likely that you have used a Unilever product today, because Unilever has presence in over 150 countries of the world. Now, this is exactly what Unilever does. Unilever focuses on clear competency frameworks. They have a system, a framework where they ensure that everybody that works in Unilever is competent, very competent on their role. Unilever has continuous leadership development that works in Unilever undergoes different sorts of leadership programs, yeah, and then the organization has adopted a continuous learning culture. Particularly, they use what we call the 70-20-10 model. This is the learning model that Unilever uses, 70-20-10 model. And look at the breakdown. 70% on the job experience. So when you get employed in Unilever, when you become a member of the workforce, you learn 70% on the job. So they don't assume, regardless of how fantastic your CV is, regardless of your level of experience, they teach you on the job, 70%. 20 coaching and mentoring. Can you see this is an application? I didn't want to use too many examples in my last class. If not, Unilever is also a good example that could have been used together with Microsoft. Then 10% formal training. So 10% could be workshops, conferences, but 70% on the job training, 20% coaching and mentoring, 10% formal training. Depending on your industry, you could adopt this learning model, but you change your percentage. So for you, maybe your percentage could be 60% on the job, 30% coaching and mentoring, 20% on formal training, depending on what works best for you. So let's see the result of this model. Let's see what it has done for Unilever. You can see because Unilever has a strong global talent pipeline. What does that mean? The exit of one person from Unilever does not distort the team because there is a strong global talent pipeline. Anybody can easily be replaced and there will not be any major shake in the organization. Then there is a consistent performance across the market. And this is a company that serves billions of consumers daily across 190 countries of the world, strong presence in Africa, Europe, Asia, and America. This is simply what they have done to become a strong global brand. The question you should ask yourself now is, how can you possibly adopt this to suit your unique organization? You may not be the Unilever of your industry. You may not have as much as 190 you may not have presence in 190 countries, but you can adopt their unique model to suit where your organization is, because after all, Unilever started somewhere, started in a day. All right. So, as I always love to end my training sessions, the question is, what is stopping you? What is stopping you? This is my popular quote that I love to use to end my sessions. You jump out of the aircraft, the parachute won't inflate. We all have been following the recent expedition of NASA to the moon. I think they just got back 2 days ago. For those of you that followed the whole of the expedition. Now imagine that those guys were not bold enough to conquer their fears, to even leave the earth. We will not be telling the story today. All right, so until you jump out of the aircraft, the parachute won't open until you kill your fears, until you kill your inertias, until you kill your excuses. You cannot assess the next level. That is what I mean by this. So that is a good place to say thank you for joining. If there are questions, I will quickly take the questions, but those are my contacts. You can follow me on all social media handles. I'm on LinkedIn as Treasure Carlo. I'm on other social media platforms as Inspiring TK. That's my website, treasurecarlo.com. You can visit my website to see all of the things that I do, and that is my mobile number. I'm on WhatsApp on that number. So if you want to get across to me, you want me to work with you on any personal or organizational level, feel free to get across and I will be willing to work with you. So thank you very much once again. I will now hand over the microphone to Pretam.
Thank you so much, Treasure, for such another incredible session. So it's always delighted to have you for the sessions. I can see we're quite running off the time, but I couldn't stop you because the session was amazing. And I believe that all our participants will find this session very insightful and valuable for them. So thank you so much again. So, as we are running out of time, we would like to encourage all the participants. Please feel free to reach out to a speaker. I've already shared his LinkedIn profile link in the chat box. Also, you can see the contact details on the slide itself. So, feel free to reach out to him if you have anything that you want to discuss related to today's session. Also, you can post your queries through our GSTC blogs, and we'll make sure one of our subject matter is getting back to you with the answers. So, thank you so much. So, Treasure, before I take the handover back, do you have any final thoughts to share with all our participants that you have already shared such a wonderful thoughts? But still, if you want to say maybe a thank you note for all of us.
Yes, so my final thoughts will be first to thank the Global Skill Development Council for inviting me. Pre-term, I think you were the first person that contacted me in January on LinkedIn. So thank you. It's such an amazing platform, at least. Today seemed to be the day that we had the least country representation. In my last session, I counted at least 15 countries that were represented, both from Africa and across at least 15 countries and at least 4 continents. Were what I counted. So it shows that your organization is doing so much to impact people in workforce across different continents. So kudos and thank you for all of the invitations that you've extended to me to be part of the team, even beyond these sessions that I have had with you. And to everybody who has joined me, whether for today or the previous ones, thank you so much for joining. Remember, the proof of learning is change. The proof of learning, I say that again, the proof of learning is change. It's not just in taking notes, it's not just in attending training sessions, it's in change. So I sincerely hope that you're going to put to use the things that you've learned from my session. Feel free, if you have any question on a personal level, send me a message either on LinkedIn or on WhatsApp using my number, and I will be more than glad to work with you. If you also want me to coach you on a personal level, especially in sales and marketing, that is my primary niche. I am also available to coach you. I coach professionals both in the US and Canada, in UK, Australia, across the African continent. Perhaps you want to invite me for a conference in your country. I travel almost every year, both within and outside of Africa, to speak. At about this time last year, I was in China and I had a speaking engagement too at a conference, an Africa China partnership conference. So if you want to invite me, my doors are open for such collaboration. So thank you once again. And I believe this is just the beginning of our relationship and many good things ahead of us. Thank you and stay blessed.
Thank you so much, Treasure. Absolutely, this is the beginning, and we would love to have you for upcoming sessions, our initiative, to be a part of our initiative. So, looking forward to have more collaborations and more insightful sessions with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Treasure. So, dear participants, I have some quick announcement for all of you. So, we have been announcing about this certification program that we offer. So you can opt out certified learning and development professional. I have already shared all the offer details in the chat box along with the promo code. So feel free to use that promo code to get discount for this certification program. So let me tell you all certifications are globally recognized ones where you'll be getting learning resources. These certifications are lifelong learnings, which gives you learning flexibility as well. And also you will be able to get chance to work on capstone project, that is something real-time AI simulation practice, right? So you'll be getting chance to connect with our training partner channels as well. So feel free to explore the certification program that we have and its benefits, right? And I'm happy to make this announcement that we'll be having the L&D Learning and Development in Enterprise and open panel discussion. We have these incredible industry experts lined up for this panel discussion. Feel free to register yourself. I've already shared all the registration link and the WhatsApp group link in the chat box. So feel free to register yourself. You can also scan this QR to register. So we'll look forward to have you all joined for this panel sessions. And there's another AI leading conference which will be happening on the topic that is value. How do you actually measure AI ROI? You can see we have this women experts will be AI experts will be joining us for this panel discussion. So make a note of it. This is happening on every Wednesday starting from tomorrow, 15th April 2026, with the same time slot that we have our regular AI sessions at 9:30 p.m. Singapore, 5 p.m. GST, 2:30 p.m. BST, which is UK, and 8:30 a.m. Central. So feel free to register yourself for this as well and be a part of these amazing panel discussions. And this is our regular AI sessions, which happens at the same time. This is the incredible panel of speakers, AI experts. Lined up for this week, which is happening 30 to 17th April 2026. You'll find the registration link for this as well. And this is ISO series, which is happening on ISO 42001 from policy to practice. We have these industry experts lined up for this week as well. Feel free to register yourself if you haven't, or also you can refer your friends, your peers, or colleagues to our sessions as well. And by doing that, you can earn rewards, which is worth $400. How? You just need to earn 50 or more than 50 points to be winner, and we'll be getting back to all the winners with the rewards, which is $400. So also top three winners will be featured on the GSTC Wall of Fame. Also, referring people, it is something that you're taking step ahead and becoming thoughtful leader, isn't it? So feel free to refer maximum people to our sessions and be the winners and take the advantage of the rewards that is worth $400. And in case if you're looking for any speaking opportunity at GSTC, feel free to share your your speaker profile with us. We'll make sure that is being reviewed and we'll get back to you with the speaker opportunity. As you all know, we do have a global platform where you'll be interacting with a global audience. So learning capsule, webinar, and podcast. So these are the platforms that we do have. Feel free to share your speaker profiles with us. And this is a platform, social platform for connecting. You can connect with us over Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn to get daily update on events, webinar, boot camps, workshop that we often conduct for all of you. So feel free to scan this QR, connect with us over the social platforms. I have already shared the links in the chat box as well for your convenience. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Hope to see you all for all the upcoming and the live sessions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Treasurer. We'll see you again. Take care, all. Bye-bye.